Alright, hey everybody, so welcome to another after movie series topic video. So for today's topic video, this is actually a topic that I'm really surprised that I have never made a video actually talking about this, and of course that is the R-rated cut of After. Now during this video, I will answer 4 separate questions. I will ask and answer 4 separate questions. The first, does the film actually exist? 2, what does the cut actually look like? And kind of dovetailing off of that, would it be worth releasing? 3, what potential roadblocks could stop the film from being released? And 4, should they release the R-rated cut of After? Now let's just start with the easiest one when it comes to number 4. Should they release the R-rated cut? Of course they should. And one of the big reasons why I'm saying that of course they should, beyond the fact that I'm just like a fan, is that the first film feels like such an outlier. It feels like such a non-entity when it comes to the other films. It feels like, like it doesn't even belong in the same universe because it is so toned down, tamed down, Disney-fied, especially when you compare it to the other films in the franchise. Now, when I say R-rated cut of After, what am I talking about? All right, so we have been told by Anna Todd and Jennifer Gibgot on multiple occasions that when they were filming the first film, it was actually going to be rated R. That they were actually filming for an R-rated cut. That they were filming harsher language. They were filming, more graphic sex scenes. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, into the post-production process, the studio came down and said, hey, by the way, we want to widen the audience. We want to, make this thing more accessible. So you know what? You need to cut this thing down to a PG-13. This thing needs to be PG-13, which is ultimately what led Anna Todd to include in her contract for After We Collided, oh, by the way, this thing is going to be rated R. And so the reason why it feels like such an outlier, that first film, is because not only did After We Collided, get an R, but it kind of felt like a hard R at sometimes. But when you look at the teaser for After We Fell, which, if you're watching this video, then of course you've seen the teaser of After We Fell, it still looks like, okay, yes, this is going to be an R-rated film, and Castile Landon, who is directing After We Fell and After We're Happy, and potentially the spin-offs, she has said repeatedly, yes, these films are going to be rated R, that we are continuing with an R-rated film. Now, the first big question that I want to answer, or I even want to ask, is, do I think that the film actually exists? Here's the problem, and that kind of dovetails into what does the cut actually look like. Now, before I get too deep into this, let me go ahead and compare this so I can kind of give you guys an idea of where I'm coming from. There was a film that came out earlier this year called Zack Snyder's Justice League, which is the R-rated 4-hour cut of Justice League. Now, the way how we got that was back in 2017, Warner Brothers releases another version of the film that is so much of a Frankenstein monster, that is so much of an embarrassment. And also there's like a whole, I can make like a whole video, but I'm not going to do that because that's not what this channel is. I could talk about all the shady shit that Warner Brothers did and all the underhanded, disturbing shit that Warner Brothers did to Zack Snyder on the actual, production of Justice League, but I'm not going to go into that because it makes me too mad, and I'm not going to get mad during this video. All right, so anyway, almost immediately when the 2017 version came out, Zack Snyder, his fans, and a whole bunch of the team members were quick to come out and say, hey, this is not my cut, and oh, by the way, we have a much better cut. And that's what we've been hearing, banging the drum for years upon years upon years. And the one thing that me and a lot of others kept saying was, yes, there is probably a cut, but there's still a whole bunch of post-production to be done on it. This thing's going to cost money, and that's why we kept saying for years, no, this does not exist. And so last year, Warner Brothers finally announced, oh, by the way, we're going to do this Zack Snyder's Justice League. We're going to give you Zack Snyder's Justice League. Oh, but by the way, it's going to cost about $70 million to complete all the visual effects. It's going to cost about $70 million to actually complete this thing and do the rest of the post-production on it. And that is the question that I have when it comes to the R-rated cut of After. is that how early in the post-production process were they told, hey, by the way, you're going to have to now do a PG-13, throw everything out, this is no longer going to be an R, you have to redub, the more harsher language, you have to take out the sex, and like, hey, like all these scenes that are just like normal for like an R-rated movie, you just have to, kind of, just take it because you cannot get an R. And so if they had to come back in and complete the film, if they had to come back in and, throw more money at it, that's where I kind of get a little bit, half and half on this thing, because even though these films have made more than enough money to justify keep going, to keep going, to keep giving us these films, to give us like After We Collided, After We Fell, After For Happy, and then the spin-offs, they have not made enough money to justify a studio, pumping in more money to complete the post-production process. And one of the add-ons about why they said with Zack Snyder's Justice League was that they also needed to give us content for their HBO Max streaming service. And with the after films, there really is none of that incentive for the studio, because if this thing did come out, it would come out like on Netflix or something. And Netflix is, on paper, they're doing fine. They don't need any help in terms of, helping their fledgling streaming service. They're not really, strapped for content. So that's like one of the things that could be stopping this film from, that would really like stop me from going over the top and screaming from the rafters, please give us an R-rated cut of After, is that I don't think that it would make much financial sense for them to do it if they have to pump more money into it. Now, if they were told like at the end of the post-production process and there's just like some R-rated cut sitting on Voltage's, hard drives, yes, push the button and release it. The fans are out there begging for it. The fans are begging for it. Now, when I talk about the roadblocks, like what could be stopping this thing from being released, it goes back to something that Roger said about After We Collided, is that when they wanted to show footage from the first film, they actually had to go to Jenny Gage and actually get permission to actually show the footage, since Jenny Gage actually owns the footage. And that's the big question that I have, and that could be like one of the big roadblocks, is that would Jenny Gage, because Jenny Gage would have to approve of this. Jenny Gage would have to be involved in this, and would she want to be involved in this? Because if I was a filmmaker, if I was a creative, and I filmed a film a certain way, and I, signed on to a film because I was going to, do like a certain thing. Like if I signed on to direct an after film and I was like, okay, this is going to be rated R, I'm filming the harsh language, I'm filming, like more graphic sex, and then or like more R-rated content, and then all of a sudden the studio comes in and completely messes with my baby, messes with this thing, I might not be so willing to kind of come back and do any more business with that studio. So that could be one of the major roadblocks actually stopping this thing, is like, like they would have to go get Jenny Gage's permission, and she just might, kind of just, because she just seems to have dropped off the face of the earth. I'm sure that she's off, living somewhere, being very quiet, living off the grid. But you know what, like in terms of like these films, like she has completely gone off grid. She's completely gone silent on any of this, and it could be the NDAs. But it also could be that, they ruined this thing beyond comprehension, that, she just doesn't want to be involved in this anymore. But of course, she did give her permission to use the footage from the first film. But this could be just like a much bigger thing, because all she had to do is just like pick up the phone or answer a call from Roger or from Voltage or, like from Jen Gibgot or Brian Pitt. And, they're just like, hey, can we use, this footage from the film? Like, hey, can we just use this, for like the first like 30 seconds of the film? And she's like, yeah, sure. Like, yeah, sure. But when it comes to the post-production, she would actually have to be more involved in it. She would actually have to be, sitting in the editing room. She would actually have to, be, again, kind of come back into the world of After, and that could be very much a sore spot. Now, would it be worth releasing? And one of the reasons why I ask, would it be worth releasing, is that, again, we don't know what this footage looks like. So for all we know, it could just be like a second here, a second there. And if that's what it is, just put up the clips on Twitter. Like, you don't have to give us like a full film, just like throw some clips up on Twitter. or on social media. I mean, that's more than fine. I mean, you don't have to kind of go back in and do like the full post-production. You don't have to go back in and like re-edit like an entire hour and 40, like hour and 50-minute movie. Just like throw a couple of clips like up on Twitter. I mean, just give us like the R-rated, lake scene. I mean, you don't have to, make this more complicated than it actually needs to be. Just put up the clips. I mean, if that's all that it is, it's just like a second here, a second there. I mean, just throw it up on social media. Like, you don't even have to release like a full like hour and 50-minute cut of the movie, or like an hour 40-minute cut of the movie. Just put the clips up there. And that's just the big thing. I mean, if that's all that it is, if it's not something like Zack Snyder's Justice League, which is like a whole different beast, I mean, just like full, scenes in there and just like a whole different movie, then you know what? Just throw the clips up online, because that's really it. So you know what? Do I think that the film actually exists? Yeah, in some shape or form, yeah, I do. What does the cut actually look like? More than likely, there's still probably some post-production work to be done on it. There's probably still enough work to be done on it. Would it be worth releasing if it's like a full-on, like Zack Snyder Justice League situation? Yeah, go ahead and release it. The roadblocks stopping the film from being released, of course they would have to re-involve Jenny Gage. Should they release the cut? Yes, of course. As a fan, I am begging them to release the cut, as all of you are as well. So jump down to the comment section below, let me know what you think. If you're still here at this point, thank you so much for watching. As always, remember, if you like what you see here and you want to see more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and let's go through all the stuff that you'll be able to find on this channel right now. So I'll be bringing you guys constant updates on After We Fell and After We're Happy. You guys are going to be so updated that you'll be begging me to stop the updates. Because I was terminated for so long, there's still a whole bunch of After We Collided stuff that I do have to catch up on, including topic videos, and those are coming sooner rather than later. As always, remember, this channel would not be able to grow to the heights that it has without you guys, and so for that, I'm eternally grateful. You know and I know there are plenty of fans out there, old and new, who have no idea, absolutely no idea that this channel exists, so please keep sharing the channel. Please keep spreading the word of Charles's movie channel, because this will easily be one of the best, if not the best, After Series channels that you'll find right here on YouTube, or dare I say anywhere. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Keep liking, keep subscribing, keep sharing. My name is Charles. Welcome to the After Series channel. I'll see you later. After fans, Joe fans, hero fans, take care, y'all. Love you.